This portrait is quite special. The reason why it's special is because these were the first series of portraits that I actually experimented with. I was always afraid of doing portraits, obviously, because it's a very tricky thing to do portraits, because it has to look like someone. So therefore, again, you go into a bracket. You know, as an artist, I am not into brackets much. All of my life I've been the black sheep of the family, and this is also one of those things. However, the reason why this painting, I never wanted it to be the exact colors of the human body, because to me, I just wanted to experiment again. And this was the phase where I did most of my experimentation, especially with the face. The series of the portraits that I did around 1996 to 1999 were these ones. And this actually looks like it's an oil paint. I have very rarely worked with oil paint. The reason why is I think it's terrible for you, and I think it'll kill you at the end. So I found a technique, and I worked with my professors in college while I did fine arts to find a way to work with acrylic but make it look like oil. And this technique is exactly that. Most of this has been, not this parts and stuff, but these parts and the face I have painted it with my actual hands, because I just wanted to touch the painting. And if you do that with oil, it's really bad for you. So the story of this little boy, a lot of people are scared of this painting, but it's one of my most favorite portraits that I've ever done. And it's been so long that I saw it after many, many years now. And this little boy is kind of a snapshot of a huge article that I read about a little boy that had stolen something in India. So this little boy had stolen something, and somebody, a policeman, is pulling him from his jacket to put him into prison. He was maybe about 7, 8 years old. I don't know what happened to this boy. I tried to really find out what happened to this little boy, and he was screaming and crying out to the tons of reporters that were standing there, and nobody was listening to his cries. And that really brought me back to my own life in Afghanistan and the way things happened with war and everything. And those are the moments that I wanted to capture. And I think when you know the story of this little boy, then you see and you look at this portrait totally differently. The red, yes, red is supposed to be the devil's kind of a color. Nonetheless, when you know the story of this little boy, then again, you go back to the soft side and the humane side that I think is missing. And this is why I did this portrait that was really quite emotional for me too. And when I did this portrait, I often cried while I did it, because to me it says a lot about humanity and about a little boy that probably stole because he was hungry. And I don't know what happened to him. I don't even know whether they killed him. Is he still alive? He's in the jails. I don't know. And I don't know if you notice, I haven't signed these portraits. I started signing my portraits, I mean not portraits only, my piece of my artwork very late, actually in the 2000s, maybe 2005 or something like that. I started signing them. I've signed the portraits in the back. I never consider myself to be a true artist, because I had to be happy with myself. And that's why these experimentations were so important in my artistic career, to find techniques, to find ways, and to be comfortable with them. And that's why these little portraits, or these big portraits, are extremely important to me. And I love to watch them and see how I've actually worked with my own hands here. And I remember those times. And it really is, it's really important, I think, for artists to know that. And I think I will sign this now, but I hadn't signed it back then. And most of the paintings, like I said, haven't been signed.